Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. The next episode of Red Valkyrie is about to start. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Red Valkyrie. I am your host, Shae Zombie, and I'm here with the insanely talented Art Thibert. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, doing really good. Yeah. It's so funny because I was on Ethan Van Sciver's show, I think for 4 hours. So went all night. And when I got your bat signal, I had just woke up. So, and then my wife came in, right? And she says, tell her that, you were working all last night. So she didn't think, so you wouldn't think I was a bum or anything. I sleep until 10 o'clock every night or every morning. Yeah.
Oh, no, definitely not. I'm happy that we were able to get you on. Not going to lie, I was sweating bullets for like a couple seconds there. I was like, oh gosh, I hope you didn't forget. But I'm so happy I was able to get you on. And we're here because, the only reason that I even possess a bright yellow hard hat, and I got Art to wear his. I'm super excited. We're here for Chrono Mechanics Retrofit, which is your latest Indiegogo, correct?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us all about it?
It's very near and dear to my heart. Chrono Mechanics Retrofit, they do more before the dawn of time than most people do all day. It's a celebration of the working class. So my dad was always a working class guy. He'd come home every night, kind of busted up, knuckles, things like that. He worked on naval ships. He worked at the shipyard here in California, and he was a pipe cover insulator. And so it's kind of a brutal job. And so I'd always see that. And so I always liked dual identity characters as well. And so I just thought, well, what if, you pulled these guys from their timelines and then they became kind of superheroic and repaired time. So in this concept, time is literally a big machine. So it's a nuts and bolts clockwork machine that was built in the very cosmic cosmos itself, the universe. And I'm still a little tired, so I'm realizing my brain isn't quite working as well as it should. And so it's a 60-page graphic novel, and there's a company called Chrono Incorporated. So Chrono Incorporated hires mechanics to repair this big machine. And so we focus our story on Team 9.2 of Sector 7. And they are the best of the best knuckle-busting repairmen that Chrono Incorporated has. So that's why the story focuses on them. And so it's kind of the super fantastic meets the mundane. So to these guys, they see all kinds of super fantastic things that no human eye has ever seen before. But to them, it's just their pain in the ass job. You know what I mean? They go, they punch their time clock. They go, they travel or commute on the time stream. So it's kind of like a super highway. So there's traffic, there's all the same things that most of us have to deal with every day just to get to the work site, to do our job. There's some paperwork involved. They hate paperwork, so there's all those things that people can relate to. Because it is super fantastic, but it's very, very relatable as far as just kind of blue collar, workers and repairmen. So it's kind of a celebration. I think that there's always these unsung heroes in society that we'll never know, we'll never see. There could be an electric storm and power lines go down. Well, there's somebody out there in the middle of that storm, repairing those power lines. There's holes in the freeway and the roads and stuff like that. There are people that sometimes they don't even close off these highways. They're working while traffic is blowing by them, fixing potholes and stuff like that. Some of these jobs are quite dangerous, but these people are doing that. So our day-to-day life works and keeps going very smoothly. And so that's what these guys do. Most people don't even know that time is a big machine. I bet you didn't know that, right?
I had no clue. I just thought it was something that marched on.
It's just this thing. No, it's actually a clockwork machine. And so yeah, so that's what these guys do. And also to let everybody know, I mean, it is a comedy. It's really, really broad, the humor, and it's wacky. But to also show that there is a serious side, the beginning of the story, spoiler alert, one of the mechanics don't make it. There's an accident, and one of the mechanics actually meets his fate. And so that's why you have this kind of ginger rocker. His name's Doug in the center of this of the cover. He's got the guitar. And so what happened is before Chrono Incorporated could really do a backstory, like not a backstory, but a back check on Doug, the 70s rock god, they were under duress. So they needed a fourth member for Team 9.2. And so they just pulled this guy, this new recruit, out of his timeline and threw him in the middle of the situation. So that's kind of how the story starts, where we get to see, will this ginger rocker, be able to hold his own? Will he become a chrono mechanic? Because at the very beginning of the story, you realize this is not a proper fit. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
This doesn't seem like it's going to work at all, because he's spoiled, he's lazy. One of the things, the rules that Chrono Incorporated have is they don't recruit from the latter 20th century. They'll recruit from the beginning part, but the latter, they're kind of like not convinced that, I guess that would be kind of my generation, have what it takes. So
like, y'all are too lazy. We're not going
that
route.
Exactly. So Doug's a little bit of a slacker, and he definitely doesn't have much of a work ethic. Let's just say that. He puts the sex, drugs, and rock and roll into his lifestyle. So
Of course.
yeah. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what Chrono Mechanics is.
Dude, yeah. That's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Super awesome. So thanks so much to the fact that stimulus funding is a thing. I was finally able to back, and it's been driving me nuts because I've been trying to get you on, I think, since this was live. But our schedules do not work out very well together.
No.
And this has just seemed like such an interesting kind of concept. I love the fact that he's like this slacker kind of douchebag that just kind of gets wrapped up in all of it. And he's like, I guess if I have to.
He's like a modern day Alice in Wonderland. But just think about, I think when you said douchebag, that's kind of the nail on the head. Like if Alice was a douchebag.
So you did a very good job in his design, because this right here with his be cool tattoo and his just something about his entire persona, he just seems like such a douche.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the story, man, my wife, who's my partner on this and co-writer, she's like, "Are you sure we should try to make him more likable?" And I go, "No. At the beginning, you gotta kind of not like him." You
gotta kind of hate him initially, because this guy looks like a snooty little brat that I probably would be like, oh, go away.
Yeah. But you'll realize, Caravaggio does have that. He's kind of a prissy dude, from the Renaissance.
Yeah.
His feet always out.
I was gonna say you had a thing. This right here, because this is him, right?
The guy in red. No, that's Oot. That's the caveman. So Oot, okay, the personalities, okay, just to back up so we can get the readers or the listeners some context. Yes. Okay, we have Oot, who's one of the early recruits for Chrono Incorporated, and he's a prehistoric he's a prehistoric businessman. I used to refer to him as the prehistoric Donald Trump before Donald Trump became the president. And you know how Donald Trump was like real estate, like New York real estate and things like that. So what Oot is, and just to back up, like Chrono Incorporated, they don't just pull anybody out of time to become a chrono mechanic. You have to kind of have some kind of resume, right? So they are kind of like the average working class. So that's part of it. But to become like a blip on Chrono Incorporated's radar, you have to have some kind of, there's something special about you. So Oot is a prehistoric businessman, and I love this. That's kind of douchey when you're like in love with your own stuff, but
no, not at all.
But
if you're not in love with it, then I question your motive.
Oh, okay, well that's good then, because I am in love with it. So Oot is a prehistoric businessman, and he specializes in the cave condo. So the cave condo, he'll lease out to different people, and they'll pay in trinkets and different, like food, or like just any kind of supplies that could have. And so what his specialty is he's got fire. He's got fire in these cave condos. So he claims that he's invented fire. Although everybody in Chrono Incorporated, all his other teammates, give him crap about it and say, you didn't invent it. It was an accident. So, but he's smart enough to know that he can profit off of it. You know what I mean? So he's got a fire pit in every one of the condos. So you can imagine how popular these cave condos are. So Oot in his timeline is very, very successful. He's married to a lovely woman. Her name is Lemmy. And they have a bunch of little Oots. So he's a family man. So he's kind of the soul. He's the heart of the team. And so then Zin, who's in the middle there, he's our like our deity. He's a child deity from a different universe. And so he is a little bit of a oh, there he is. We passed him. There he is right there. And so he has the gem, and it's the power of the gem that he focuses all his calm and his energies. So he can kind of float. He has like some kind of like powers that he can levitate things and move things. But he's a child. He's very young. By our years, he's old, but by his years, he's a child. So he's a child deity. And so he's recruited because of kind of his calm and his wisdom. So he's kind of the calm in the storm with the team. And then we have Caravaggio, who's a Renaissance. He's a Renaissance inventor, and he's kind of loosely based on the real life Caravaggio. So Caravaggio, when I was studying, in school, that he was a little underrated in his time. Maybe he didn't get the dues that he should have, or the due he should have. And so in this story, he has a rival, and his rival is Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And Da Vinci, Caravaggio's convinced that Da Vinci's success is all coming on the fact that he's stealing all of his ideas. Like he's breaking into his studio and he's stealing his brush techniques, his inventions, and all this stuff. So Caravaggio's got a little bit of a mad on for Da Vinci, and he refers to Da Vinci as Da Vinci, like he's.
Oh my god.
Like I said, this is a wacky comedy. And so the reason he's recruited is because he's very resourceful. He's very, very clever. And he's kind of like Mo of the Three Stooges. He's the leader. He's kind of the, like self-appointed leader. And so that's kind of the core team right there. And then we get to see like how Doug fits into these three personalities.
Right. Can I just say real quick, this pinky being up is so fucking perfect. He's just like,
yeah, he's a bit of a priss. Yeah, he's a bit of a priss. He's a dandy.
So great. Oh, it's so good. Oh my goodness.
His giant purple plume that he prides himself on.
Yeah. Oh wow. And so for those who haven't put it together, because everyone's got kind of their theme color that is going with them. So purple for Zen, you got blue for Caravaggio, and then Oot has red.
Yeah.
So if you're paying attention to the scarves, you could probably understand why the ginger on the show has a green scarf.
Yeah, you're kind of it's a celebration of the new recruit, right, Doug?
Yes, it's a female attempt at if he actually manages to make it as part of this crew without getting killed.
Yeah, we'll find out. My favorite is
kind of iffy.
This panel that we're looking at right now, where Oot is like he's got his hand up.
Yeah,
they're kind of lost and are trying to find their way. There's a series of mishaps that happen along the way. So they're in their truck, their ground transport, trying to get to the work site. And so Oot has been drinking coffee all along, the commute to the work site. And so he has to drain the thunder weasel, is what he calls it. And so he's looking for the restroom. So he goes to this Indian village because what's happening is time is merging. So all these different timelines are kind of popping in and out of existence. So this village, this Indian village, wasn't there like 2 minutes ago, and it just kind of shows up. So he's getting out of the truck, and he's definitely got a purpose. He's got to pee, right? And so. Right. So the chief is like, how? And so Oot's like, how yourself? I need to use the restroom.
Right. He's like, yeah, I don't got time for this.
I don't have time. Exactly. Yeah. So he's just like, talk to the hand. And so there's a little bit of a joke. Like some of the jokes are kind of visual. So there's that Indian in the foreground, the lady, and she's just looking for a good man. So so she's eyeing Oot right now, so she's sizing him up as her future husband.
He's surrounded by flies. Like, come on.
Yeah, he's a little stinky. He's a prehistoric dude. Yeah, hygiene isn't his thing. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's a little obvious. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious.
Oh,
and I love this because this is where you have Caravaggio like biting his nails. Just, oh no, it's so concerning. It's just
yeah, because what's happening is their time packs are running amok. So what that means is that they may be losing the cosmic power that allows them to power up. So like I said earlier, there's this dual identity thing. So I like superheroes. Obviously, I got 35 years invested at Marvel and DC. But hold on for a sec. Sorry.
No problem.
And it's actually springtime, so it's allergy season. And so what happens is they go from their core selves, and you could see like Caravaggio's this little dude and Zin's a squid guy, and they're not really their basic forms aren't suited for Chrono work. So one of the things is if you do construction or different jobs, you kind of put on the uniform to do those jobs. So the idea being is that it's not just a uniform, a work suit that they put on, but it also transforms their core selves into the perfect mechanic. So each one is the same size. They all have the same kind of physical attributes. They have a little bit of super strength, and they have a ton of stamina, because these aren't just normal jobs, you guys. All the tools are oversized. The machine is massive. It's as big as the cosmos, the universe itself. So that's kind of the idea of why they go from that core self to these like masculine, idealized forms.
Right. Well, that's so you can see just how big some of these tools and stuff are. They're like the size of them almost.
Yeah, and some of them are even bigger. Some of them will take 3 of them to work. It just depends on what part of the machine they have to fix, and so on and so forth.
I'm not gonna lie. If I had time, I would have made this wrench for like 1,000%. I would have made that. I just did not have time.
Oh, man. So you make props and stuff like that?
I try to. I do really. It's really shit cosplay, is what it is. But it's something. Damn it.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, as long as you like it and you enjoy it. Yeah.
We have fun with it. Okay, so we've got a pretty good idea about the story. So let's go over your tiers real quick. So you're currently at 38,177. I feel like you really should probably be like 50. I don't know why you're not. But we're going to see if we can at least help you get to 40, because that should have already happened. So your featured tier.
Okay, the featured tier is the signed graphic novel plus the sketchbook. And keep in mind, all the book tiers come with a corresponding trading card. So if you buy the book itself, it'll come with a team trading card. And these are going to be fun trading cards, and they're all going to be designed the same. So it'll be a 10, there's 10 cards in the set. So they'll all have the same motifs, and they'll be set up the same way. I have Bob Stone working on that now. Bob does a lot of stuff for Zach, your boy. Yeah. So he does a lot of design work for some of the Comicsgate guys. So he's working on that now. So like I said, the main book itself comes with a corresponding trading card, which would be the team card. So the sketchbook comes with Eugene, who we haven't gone over yet, but Eugene is the Chrono Elucidator. So what he is he's a walking, talking hologram. So he's basically the computer program or the computer system for Chrono Incorporated. So he keeps track of all time and timelines. But what he does is he kind of wants to be a human. So he enables himself, or because of the technology, he can manifest himself as a hologram. And so he can interact, and he can talk, and he can kind of feel like he's human, but he's kind of like Data or any of these other type of robotic characters where they want to be human, but they kind of fail at it, most of the time. So he just wants to be, he idolizes the Chrono Mechanics, especially Team 9.2. So he's got a little bit of hero worship. So the sketchbook comes with a Eugene trading card, and the sketchbook is a series of drawings and developmental artwork that I put together for the sketchbook. But it's like 10 years of drawings. I have stacks of drawings and developmental artwork that's going to go into the work in progress. So and it's going to be fun because it's going to open like a calendar this way instead of left to right. It's going to go up and down. And it's going to be narrated by the Elucidator. So since Eugene is called the Elucidator, I thought it would fit. So instead of me saying, this is what I was thinking when I came up with this, that, or the other thing, Eugene is going to narrate it for me. So he's going to say, this is what Art was thinking. And I don't know, I haven't mentioned this yet on any live streams or anything, but what I thought might be fun is if Eugene comes, like maybe there's a paragraph that starts talking about when we went to Art, because we know that he does comic books, and so make it seem kind of like a behind the scenes, like the comic book is based on these real life adventures of these characters, and so Chrono Incorporated as like if it was real. Oh wait, it is real. What am I talking about? Right. If they came to me and then hired me to do a comic book based on, their day-to-day kind of goings on. And so cool. Yeah, so I think that maybe I'll do that. So the opening of the book will be like Eugene saying, we went to Art, we know he's a 35-year comic book veteran, and we thought it would be neat to have a comic book based on, Chrono Incorporated. And so, these are some of the working drawings that led up to, the comic book itself. So that's kind of what that's going to be. And then we have, if you scroll down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. We just added the mystery grab, sketch grab. And that's kind of like what I was talking about, the drawings. So I wish I had some of them. I had them here a while ago, but I don't have any of them right now next to me. But yeah, they're the developmental artwork, and it's only $20, and it's an add-on to the book. So if you want a piece of the development artwork, you can do that for $20, and it doesn't have additional shipping. So we'll just put that right in with your order. And God, I wish I had some of the artwork here. Hold on, there might be.
You go find some for sure.
There might be some here and over here. Let me see. This is good. This is good. Good YouTube and right here.
Right?
We lost the guy. He's gone.
It's okay. You'd be surprised how often that seems to happen on my show. We lose people all the time.
So stuff like this.
Oh, that's so cool. Hold on, let me get you big.
So
there we go.
This is Doug as Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
So let me find these are pretty finished. Let me try to find some looser stuff. Possibly, I mean, it depends, but like developmental artwork, just ideas.
Oh wow. Oh, that's cool.
Let me see. Oh, here's I don't know if you guys like Disney animation, but I have a variant cover that I haven't got to yet. But this is Tom Bancroft's artwork. This is the actual piece, the original. And Tom Bancroft is a Disney animator. He's most known for Mushu, the Eddie Murphy character in Mulan. So he was the key designer and animator for Mushu.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he's a good friend, and he drew this up for me, which, man, he nailed the character. But that's not going to be in there. That piece is not going to be in there.
You're like, I'm not giving that up. That's fine.
Yeah. Well,
you got to some for you.
Yeah, these will be in the work in progress sketchbook, but these won't be the mystery sketch grab. Wait a minute. Where am I going? There I am, right there. So these are all like different, development ideas. Here's an early Caravaggio. You talk about a Priss. Look at that.
Oh my gosh. I will say I like you taking him with like the curls instead, like the big rolls for his hair.
Yeah. So here's I was developing this as animation too. So I had to kind of come up with different designs and ways to explain to animators. So I had to break down, the structures of the characters and everything.
That's so cool.
Here's a cool team shot. This will be in the book.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's really cool. I do like that.
Yeah, so I'm not doing a good job of finding mystery sketch stuff. But
it's okay. You're showing us awesome stuff.
You got to screen share this.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So this is an actual painting. So I do paint.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
This is early Doug stuff. There's some of the
yes, the little guys in the corner. Holy shit, that is so cool. It's so for someone like me who is very, very limited in my artistic ability, being able to really kind of see what an actual artist is capable of, and see all the little sketchy areas and all of the little, method to the madness is always just so cool to see.
This will be in the mystery sketch. So this is probably like a level. So this is a panel layout.
Uh-huh.
So this is Caravaggio whacking Da Vinci. They're having a paintbrush fight.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I want that.
Well, back the sketch tier and maybe you'll get it. So this is I think Da Vinci's saying, my painting eye, because he's getting back in the eye.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. That is so good. That is amazing. So you do actually have a question from Skits Comics. He wants to know, is it watercolor or acrylic?
I think this is watercolor. Yeah. So it's weird because I have a watercolor friend and she's like, it's not real watercolor, because like you can see the backgrounds, like this purple and stuff. Like that's more watercolor-ish, like the background. Mm-hmm. So I kind of built up layers and kind of built it up. So it is kind of more of a painting with like watercolor aspects, but this is watercolor, like paint.
Yeah. Gosh, that's so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
I really love that. That is awesome.
Oh, my helmet, my Party City helmet is askew.
Is it sliding on you?
Yeah. I think it's meant for a kid's head. I don't think it's meant for
considering what I've got as an adult and it's much bigger, I'm going to say that is absolutely for a child that you have on your head right now.
I like that we kind of complement each other in a weird way where yours is oversized and mine's way too small.
Exactly. Like I feel like we need to switch helmets and it'll probably look better.
The story behind this is my wife put this together. I forget what it was for. It was like some kind of Chrono celebration. We did something. So she put this together. I think she put this logo together too with the hammer in the sea.
It looks great.
Pretty cool.
Like I feel like you guys need to look into getting. Oh, hi,
wifey. That's daughter. Good coffee.
I feel like you guys need to look into like a very nice cup. That is amazing. I love that cup.
Yeah.
You can look into a ball cap that has that Chrono Mechanics top on it.
Yeah, my daughter doesn't have a face. She's just hands.
That's fine. I totally understand. Just hands. That's not a problem.
Jazz hands.
So yeah, I was gonna say you guys need to get like yellow hats and do the Chrono Mechanic, like that CM logo on, and put that as an add-on tier.
It just auction off this one hat.
Would you like a small child-sized hat? You can get one. Logo price of whatever I can knock. Okay.
All right. Back to reality. It was serious.
Let's get back to your tiers now. I can't be serious. Are you kidding me? Okay.
So yeah, that's basically the mystery sketch grab. So yeah, we're gonna put one of those drawings into an envelope, and you never know what you're gonna get. So we're not gonna advertise what what the sketch is. Just kind of an overall, like we did just now. Like these might be in the mystery grab kind of thing. So yeah, this is the main book tier right here. Like I said, it comes with the team trading card. All the books come with a team trading card and a signature.
Very cool.
Yes. Ooh, bring on the posters. Do I have?
Do you have?
Oh, wait. This is show and tell. I have one here. So this is the Doug World Tour poster.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So I had these made up, and look at all the different dates.
Oh,
I like that it's called Detour. Like, so Doug is kind of a cross between Ted Nugent and Steven Tyler. So he's got the guitar prowess of Ted Nugent with the voice of a Steven Tyler.
Oh wow. And why do I feel like you probably have, like, I feel like you probably have somebody in line if you were to ever actually make this who was going to voice and sing for Doug. I feel like you've gone that far that you're just like, yep, this is how it's going to go.
You know, when I came up with this, I initially was thinking like Andy Dick. Remember Andy Dick?
Yes.
Yeah, like because he's like all wiry and skinny and real nerdy. And believe it or not, he did a rock album, and like Marilyn Manson painted the cover for it. And he's got a weird, like I like personality, voices with personality. I don't like necessarily pretty voices. I like voices that have a little bit of personality. And he definitely had personality. So I was thinking, because if we did do it as a movie, I definitely want the actor to be singing the parts. Like I don't want, you know how like they do the dubs and they have like somebody else singing. I don't want that. I want the actual actor to be, singing. And so I was thinking this was way back when because this IP is about 15 years old or so.
Oh, wow.
So I came up with a long time ago. And so that's why Andy Dick, when he was relevant and sober, I guess, or at least, could, not fall down during his job.
Yeah, just like the basics, like stay upright. And
hit your mark. Yeah. Remember your lines. Yeah, those things. Those small things.
Okay, so for the Bring on the Posters tier, this doesn't come with the book, but it comes with two to 18 by 13 posters.
Yeah, so they're
4
bigger.
minis.
Yeah, and then the 4 mini prints of the different covers. So thanks for focusing me. I was getting a little out of.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so that's pretty cool, and that you can do as an add-on because this doesn't come with a book. So the posters don't come with the book. So you can put that in as an add-on, and then if you scroll down, this one is really cool. I really want to get more of these into people's hands because 4 of my really good friends and just brilliant talents just volunteered putting artwork together. So we have 4 different covers, variant covers, drawn by superstar talents, and each one comes with a corresponding trading card. So the Caravaggio cover comes with a Caravaggio card, Doug's comes with a Doug card, and so on and so forth. So we have Caravaggio drawn by Carlo Barberi, and he worked on Super Sons with me. He's a brilliant penciler. I think he's working for Marvel Comics right now on a Spider-Man book. So,
wow.
So yeah, he did that, and I inked over him. So that came out really good. And then, like I said, we showed the Tom Bancroft Doug piece.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that for me, and we colored that up. And then Sean Cheeks Galloway did the Oot piece, and that will come with the Oot trading card. And Sean, he does comic books, but he's mostly known for designing like animation and video games. So he did the design work for the Hellboy movies. Did you see the 2 Hellboy animated movies? They came out some years ago.
I think I saw one of them. I don't think I saw both, but yeah.
Yeah, he did all the design work. He took the Mike Mignola character Hellboy and redesigned it for animation. And then he did that Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon. He did the design work for that as well. So that I was really flattered, like that I got a piece of artwork from him. And then Aaron Presti's good friend. We worked with each other throughout our careers. Like I think I started working with him probably 25 years ago, maybe. Yeah, about 25 years ago. We did some X-Men books together. And so most recently we worked at DC Comics together on Detective, the Batman books.
Mm-hmm.
And so he did Zin. So he gave me some artwork for Zin. So that's the variant collection, and each one of those comes with a corresponding trading card.
That's super awesome.
And
that's
here's
really
the
exciting.
twofer. Yeah, the twofer has like 2 of each. So 2 of the main book and 2 of the work in progress book. And it's at a discounted price. So if you buy this and you have a friend that wants the campaign, this is, these books, this is probably the best thing to do because you can get 2 at a discounted price. And the shipping is also discounted as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Ooh, the ultimate. Ooh. The ultimate tier. So if you guys, how many was that? If you've been counting, that's 6 trading cards. So all those tiers that we just went over, there's 6 trading cards in there. So there's 4 for the variants, there's the Eugene, and then there's the main team card. So that's 6 cards. But with the ultimate tier, not only do you get everything that we went over already, but you get 4 additional trading cards that are only offered in this tier. So that will round out the whole 10-pack set. And like I said, Bob Stone is doing the design work. And so each one of them will look like they're, part of a set. And then on the back, it'll have the character stats and things like that. So the fun thing is that in the ultimate tier, the 4 additional trading cards will be able to get into some more of the other characters like the Foreman. We already have the Eugene card, but there's these Chronomites. They're technivores, and they live in the time stream, and they eat anything that goes in the time stream. Any technical, like ships, any tech, they'll just devour it. So those are they're gonna have their own trading card. Chrono Incorporated is gonna have its own trading card. Nice. Skippy is the foreman's assistant. He's going to have his own trading card. So like the supporting cast will have their own cards too. So it really will complete not only the 10 set, but it also has all the characters. So if you were just to read the cards, I think you'd get a pretty good idea of the concept and the world.
Right. That's really cool. That's super awesome. And so you obviously had original artwork that has sold out.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go back over. I know we already looked at them, but one of the first things I wanted to say, I love the fact that you have this flipping the other way, because it reminds me of, like, right now at my other job, they're doing a lot of construction. And anytime you see them with their blueprints sitting at their draft table, that's how they do it. They flip everything up, and it's always these like oversized pieces of paper that they're flipping up to look at everything. So I love that that's what you did for your sketchbook, because it's so fitting with the fact that they're all just basically construction workers of time.
Well, thank you. And the interiors reflect that too. So the layout is it's kind of like a blueprint as well, like a high-tech blueprint.
That's awesome. Brooklyn agrees you need a big boy hard hat.
Yeah. Next time, next show.
That's all right. You can find it at Lowe's apparently.
Oh,
but
really?
Everything else there was a pain in the butt. So the other thing I was going to go back to is, so the variant covers, I just wanted, just so people can get a real good look at these, because they're just so unique. Like, I love this art style. It really reminds me of kind of Nickelodeon, or even not so much Disney, but along those lines, like Adult Swim kind of style.
Yeah, it's kind of like high-end Hanna-Barbera, you know?
Yeah, like more expensive.
Yeah, that's why I said I threw in high-end. Yeah.
High-end.
But you know, a lot of those guys that did design work for Hanna-Barbera in the day, those were A-list guys. You know, those were really good guys. They just didn't have the money to do full animation. So I think that animation gets a bad rap, but the design work is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you start looking at a lot of what has kind of sustained over the years, a lot of people have really enjoyed when all of this stuff started coming back, you know?
Yeah.
But I love...
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I love the style of this. I like the little swirly knee and elbow bits and stuff. I always think it's so endearing.
Yeah. And this is Oots surfing the time stream. So there's like these little fish jumping out of the time stream, and then there's like the multiple Earths are like symbolic of or a symbol of like the multiple timelines. So the way I think of it is like each Earth has there's an Earth in each one of these timelines, and so those are the multiples, realities, I guess, or timelines.
Right. Oh, that's awesome.
And he's surfing a giant hog.
And then you've got Doug, which you said is done by the guy who does Disney, which if you look at it, it really does kind of remind me of like a Goofy movie.
Yeah. And Tom Bancroft, him and his brother, he's got a twin brother. His name is Tony. So it's Tony and Tom Bancroft. They have a great podcast, you guys. You guys should listen to that. They get all kinds of Disney animators on there and they interview them. And so his claim to fame, his big claim to fame is Mushu from the Mulan movie that his brother directed, and I think won the Oscar for Best Director for that movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so these guys are not slouches. These guys are like, like high-end, artists. So I met him a few years ago, probably like 10, 15 years ago now. And at the San Diego Comic-Con, and we just got along really, really well. And my daughter was really young at the time, and she loved Mushu from Mulan. So he said, "Don't tell anybody." He said, "But I'm going to do this for your daughter." And he drew a Mushu for her. And oh my gosh, she used to have it on her wall. She's older now; she's in her 20s. But it's still kind of in the Thibert vault. Like we have it stashed away. It will always stay in the family. That drawing. And I'll always remember like how generous he was, because I think the Disney animators, they're not supposed to do that stuff. Like they're kind of contracted that they're not supposed to do sketches of the characters, or I think even sell their artwork. I don't think they can sell their artwork.
Disney has such a stranglehold on what people can and can't do. It's so dumb.
Yeah. But somehow they do it anyway.
Right. I love the detail that he has in here too. Like you have the girl that's holding him in his butt, who's just like, oh yeah, this is amazing. And then you have the women where he's disappearing. They're like, what the hell is happening? Like,
yeah, it's storytelling.
It's just so good. It's just so interesting. And he seems so totally unfazed by the fact that he's like disappearing through time.
Yeah, I like the little one with the D t-shirt. Like she's just tiny and she's kind of like, she's got the little tank top on. Determined. Yeah. I got to touch him. I got to get to him somehow. Yeah, one of the jokes in the early pages is that Doug's fan base are women, or they will be as soon as they're old enough to vote.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's terrible. And then we've got Zin. That I love this because he just looks so in awe. It reminds me a lot of like Oddworld.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like I'm pulling from all kinds of places. Like when I create, I don't like to have too many preconceived notions and just kind of go into it. And this character came out of it. And this is it's funny because a friend of mine was going over, some of the stuff early on, like years ago. And he said, these 4 characters are you. And I said, what? He said, they're all like a little, like a part of your personality. I said, how so? He said, Oot is a businessman and you run Hack Shack Studios, an art studio. And I said, okay. And then he said, Caravaggio is he's an artist. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can see that. And then he said that, like Doug is a rocker. And when I was younger, I played, in the club scene in Hollywood and stuff like that. So I'm a drummer. And so I thought I actually was going to, like, my profession was going to be a drummer. But then the comic thing happened. So, so then, you got the rocker guy. And then I said, well, how would I be like Zen? How would I even be close to that character? He said, you're a pontificator. You kind of talk philosophy. And most of the time you're full of shit. So I said, oh, okay. Because Zen is like, he's full of wisdom, but it's mostly just kind of misguided BS. So I go, I can do that. Yeah.
Well, and I love all of the area effects that you have with this, where it's like kind of splashing off as it's swirling up from this light and everything like that. It's just I don't know. I feel like the look on his face kind of says it all. Like this is an amazing thing that he is holding. You're like, I don't even know what it is, but I'm impressed.
Yeah, and this is the great Aaron Lopresti, comic book artist, and he modeled it after I think a House of Mystery cover by the great Bernie Wrightson. So that's why it says underneath Aaron's name, it says Wrightson. So it's kind of after Wrightson. So
that's cool.
He was inspired by a Bernie Wrightson drawing and then brought it into this.
That is super awesome. And then of course we have Caravaggio with the pinky.
With the pinky out, and that what he's holding is a mirror, because he's a little vain. So he kind of looks at himself a lot and makes sure that the curls are in the right place and that his mustache and goatee are perfect. Yeah. So this was Carlo Barberi, and he did the pencils, and I did the ink work, and then Perea did the color work. So he did the interiors as well. He's a brilliant colorist, and he put the cosmos in the background and put the texture all over the gears and stuff. He did a great job, man.
Yeah. Oh, it looks phenomenal. This is really, really impressive stuff.
Well, thank you.
So, I'm super. I mean, I backed, but I'm super sold, even if I hadn't already backed, because it just seems like it's what comics are supposed to be. It's a fun escape. It's not taking itself too seriously. It's not getting, hyper controversial in any way. It's just, we're traveling through time and space. We got someone who's maybe a little bit of a reluctant person who's being dragged along all of this because of an error, and they're not being anyone better. So Steve, I take back what I said before, where I said that you probably wouldn't hack it as one, because I don't really think that Doug was what they were looking for, but he was there. So
yeah,
there's
a warm body.
you.
Yeah, he's a warm body, and protocol demands that there's 4 members in the team. So
that's fantastic. And for those that are new to the channel, my buddy Steve, we had him. I brought up his stuff in the chat. I actually work with him in real life, and he and I go back and forth quite a bit. But he's, former Marine, so he can take it. He's fine.
You mentioned a co-host. Is he your co-host as well?
He is not. No. My co-host is Cyborg Valkyrie, who unfortunately is not currently around, but hopefully we'll be back no later than October, so we can get back to it. Not just being me riffing all by myself. I'll have someone that I can yell at and say I hate, because that's usually how that goes.
So do you do construction in the military? What do you do?
I work with computers.
Okay.
So it's super dull. I put the chair in Chair Force very proudly.
Well, that's why your site looks so professional.
Yeah, that's it. This isn't at all the fact that Cyborg obsessed on all of this for days on end, and then before she left, just handed it all over to me.
I see the green screen in the background. Do you do green screen effects as well sometimes?
Normally I have a green screen up because I was doing Doug and had green on, and I do not have a backup blue screen. I was not able to. So normally you wouldn't see any of my boxes or anything that I've got going on in this room right now. I'm in the process of putting my office back together, so it's a little bit ramshackled right now. But yes, there would be a green screen behind me.
Well, I'm really flattered that you dressed up like a Chrono Mechanic for this show. That's awesome. You inspired me to put my Party City hat on. I was commenting that if something was to hit me in the head, it would still kill me, but that yours probably wouldn't. And then you said, I don't think mine would either.
It's a $7 hard hat. I have very little faith in its ability to be a hard hat.
To be a real hard hat, yeah.
Yeah, no. So we did actually have a question from Paragon Link. He says, what, if anything, served as an inspiration for Chrono Mechanics, and do you see yourself using the time travel narrative device in another non-comedic comic book?
My father, and this is a celebration for the working class, and I think especially in this day and age, no slight against you with the computers, but there's a lot of emphasis on like tech jobs and things like that. But there's still people that fix your car, that like I said, power lines, that make sure your sewage is flowing. Like there's just so many things that go in our day to day that we never ever see. Like these people are just like, they do it. Why do you think things work as well as they do? It's because of these people. And so I just thought that, the Chrono Mechanics would be an extension of that. Like, what if time literally was a big machine that needed maintenance, constant maintenance, because it's ancient and it's massive. So you need teams of thousands of people to maintain this. So it's one of the best kept secrets. It's kind of Men in Black, where there's these guys that do these, hold off these alien invasions and keep our world safe, our universe safe. But you never know about them. I don't have that little thing that that you hold up and they look at it, and then they mine. You can mine
the little mind wiper.
Yeah. But what happens at the end of like Chrono is like if things start running amok, that's a technical term for the Chrono Mechanics. Is like the longer it takes the machine to be repaired, time starts merging and folding on itself. And so if it folds over too much, what Chrono Incorporated has to do is, for that timeline, they call it rebooting. The slang term is go primal. So what they have to do is they bring that timeline back to square one. You know what I mean? And so we have to kind of come out of the primordial ooze and start all over again for that timeline. And nobody wants that, you know? But it's the only way that you can fix it if it gets too bad. You just have to reboot that timeline. And so that's one of the mechanics. That's why they have to do it in a timely fashion. That's why there's a lot of stress, because the longer it goes, the more entwined it becomes. And so even if they fix the machine, it won't go back to normal. And so the idea is when it goes back to normal, anybody that was affected, like anybody they interacted with, you know, like those Indians and stuff like that, they won't remember anything because everything will go back like none of this ever happened. So that's if they do it right. If they don't, they'll just disappear. They'll just, you know, they'll never have existed. And so that's kind of the idea. The idea is it's a celebration of the working class. And what was the other question? Oh, if I would do this as a serious, I don't know.
Use a time travel narrative device
As something more serious. Yeah. I think this is my take. And the reason it works for Chrono Mechanics, and it can work in an ongoing storyline or storylines that won't work for like Terminator or some of these other like time travel stories. Even like Back to the Future, I think, is limited. But Back to the Future did a very good job of setting up the rules of time travel. But like something like Terminator, it's a very specific story. The first two movies had very specific rules of the time travel. The other movies, the reason for me that they weren't that successful is they kept breaking the rules of time travel and making up new ones, and then creating paradox after paradox after paradox. And that's kind of the problem with time travel for me. I love time travel stories, but I think they're best if they're going to be serious as like a closed-ended story. You know what I mean? Like a full beginning, middle, and end, and then it stops. They don't really work as ongoing storylines because they just create too many problems. And so the one thing with Chrono Mechanics is that it's fun and it's silly. And most of those rules don't apply. So I'm hoping that people won't like scrutinize it the same way they would if it was presented in a more serious fashion. And I did pitch this around to Hollywood. I did get a lot of with Kids WB. We actually were in development on the animated cartoon, and so I was asked by a lot of the executives, and they were saying, "Well, how does the time travel work? How do the rules?" And I said, the rules are just like your basic time travel idea, but if it's funny, we will break those rules. Like, you know what I mean? Like there are a set of rules, but if it's funny, then we'll break the rules. And they're like, what? And I was like, because it's kind of a ridiculous idea. Like we can go anywhere with it. And I believe if we take it too serious and it's too rigid, we can't do it as a serialized story. It would create too many problems. And I don't know if you watch Rick and Morty, but where executives 15 years ago when I was pitching this, they were like, it won't work. And then 15 years later, Rick and Morty breaks every time travel rule every episode. Like they just do whatever the hell they want. And I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted to do. You know?
So you just have to remind them, like, sorry, my dog is tearing apart my office.
He likes the green screen.
Knocking down artwork is what she's doing. Thank you, dog. I appreciate that.
But yeah, I was gonna say all that you'd have to say to WB is you guys did Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Really? What rules does Animaniacs follow?
Yeah, you're gonna bust my hump over this?
Right.
But exactly. I think they really want to try to understand, and when you give them an idea like that, they can't wrap their heads around it. They're just like, anything if it's funny. Yeah, that's the criteria. I remember it was Nickelodeon, and the woman was like, "What's their backstory? I need to know like what they eat, what their favorite things are, all this stuff. I need to know all these details." And I was like, why? like you know, like she wanted like some kind of Bible on all this stuff, and then she's like, we need to know, you know, all of these details, all these backstory things. And I said, really? You have a show called Fairly Odd Parents, and it says Timmy is an average kid. It says it all right there. He's an average kid. Like, what more do you need to know about Timmy? You know? Right. Like, oh, what sandwiches does Timmy eat? What is his favorite color? Like, who cares? You know?
What child is checking all of that out? Like, as a person who, like, full-grown adult, still definitely watch a lot of these cartoon shows because I'm just a gigantic child.
Yeah.
Don't care. Never cared. Didn't care as a kid. Don't care as an adult. I don't need to know what Timmy wants to eat. I don't need to know the backstory of Oot. I know that Oot is a caveman business person. That's it. Like, he's got himself a briefcase, and I just imagine him going around. His whole platform is fire good.
Yeah, exactly.
Fire good. And
that's
like,
how
done. Like, I'm on board. I'm Team Oot.
Yeah, and if words fail him, he'll just hit you in the head with his club. You know, that's how he takes care of the situation. And like I was trying to tell this person, I was like, it's situational. So situational comedy, if you want it to become about his favorite food, well, that becomes the situation, right? That becomes the episode. The episode becomes
his favorite food.
Right. But if it's in the Bible, like, how many people I just think it's creatively limiting, because if it's all the Bible, a Bible is what they call, like, you know, when they develop these shows. And I do believe there has to be a pretty detailed Bible, because there's a lot of different people that work on the animated show. But at the same time, I think some of this stuff locks it into a place that it stops you from exploring these other ideas. And I was like, these are situational comedies, so it's whatever the situation dictates. That's what the episode becomes about, you know?
Well, and that's the other thing that I think is really kind of silly when it comes to things that are just comedic. The whole point of having, like, the kind of comedy and stuff like that, they like to put stuff down in a Bible so that they know exactly where they're going with everything, and it becomes so formulaic and so boring because it's the same thing every time. And all I can think of is, so ask me what my favorite food was 3 years ago, and then ask me today, because it's probably not the same.
And do you realize, just based on what you said right now, could be an episode?
Yes.
You know, like that's what.
Like, I thought your favorite food was, like, blueberry pie, and you're like, I hate blueberry pie. I like steak sandwiches, and you're like, well, now we're gonna go into why the hell it changed, because why did it change so drastically?
Right. Yeah, just keep it open. Yeah, just keep it open. But I know that they're executives, and they want to have some kind of major overview on everything. But
most of them are not creative. Most of them aren't creative people. They're coming at it from a business mindset. And if you're going to think of a business, your business has to have a very definite path on which it's progressing. And they try to put that into an artistic form, and they don't understand that that's how you murder creativity, is by forcing it to go on this one very specific path.
Yeah, because based on what I gave you, it could go everywhere. Based on what you want from me, it becomes very narrow and limited. Yeah.
Well, and what happens if, so at the time when you very first wrote it, you wrote something that was relevant for that time, but it's not something that came about, and now it's written down in the Bible, you've done all the prep work for it, and things have changed, and now you saying something like that could be taboo, or you saying something like that is no longer relevant and nobody cares, it's going to make people change the channel. Well, it's now it's established, you can't get around it. And so now you're stuck with it. And they don't understand having a progressive game plan when it comes to a creative endeavor. And that's, in all honesty, that's one of my biggest complaints when it comes to the entertainment industry, is they're so caught up in what is going to make them money now and what is going to have the least amount of effort and the least amount of creativity needed, because then they can literally put anyone on a project and be like, you are going to sit here, you're going to draw this because that's what I'm telling you to draw.
Right.
You don't have to get it. You don't have to like it, but you're going to draw it.
And they can justify a paycheck, like that somehow they were more involved in the project. All the best like art directors or editors that I've ever worked with are ones that just they hire the talent and they trust them, they trust their vision, and then they just kind of leave them alone. They steer the ship. They make sure that those people have everything they need. They make sure that they make their deadlines. They make sure the ship keeps running smoothly, but they don't dictate the creative ideas per se. They might have a suggestion, but they're not like dictating it to you.
Well, and it's fine to have a suggestion and to voice those. That's part of the creative process. But if you are not in and of yourself, you're not a creative individual. You trying to like checks and balances an Excel spreadsheet to death a creative person is just, it's murder. It's the worst thing that you could do for that person's, for their drive, their inspiration, their ability to create a good story, because you're pigeonholing them and then trying to be like, well, how come you're not being creative? And you're like, you put me in a stifling box. I can't move. I can't do anything. Exactly. How am I creative here?
Yeah. You got a lot of insight on this. Have you tried to write or like get a cartoon show or something going?
So I'm an odd duck when it comes to creativity. I like writing. I haven't done it in a very long time. So most of what I have is just kind of emo poetry stuff that I don't know how many people are interested in. But I did almost become a puppeteer for a while. And I was going to be a puppeteer for a kid's show until the guy who was supposed to set that up flaked on me. I did try to get into acting. I tried to get into modeling, which is a horrible field that I don't think I could ever do. I can't have people tell me every single day that I'm too fat. It's distressing. And I love video production. I suck at art, so I can't do that aspect of it. But I have always loved like video production and that kind of aspect. And I really wanted to get to work with people to do stuff like that. And so I've learned a lot, despite the fact that I sit at a desk all day. I work on computers, and then I go to my second job and clean. But
right.
One day.
Yeah, I mean, we all have goals. We have like even to like where I'm at. There's where I'm at in this moment in time, but there's where I want to be. Right. So I think everybody's like that.
Oh yeah. Well, and I feel like whenever you hit a point where you are 1,000% satisfied with where you are, that is the point where you might as well just roll over and die.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I am never 1,000% satisfied with where I am, because there'll always be like, well, I've accomplished all of these things and that's great. I still don't know how to play the violin. Yeah. I want to learn how to play the violin. And that's my next goal, and just, I don't feel like you can live life if you just stop and you're just like, nope, this is good. What I have is great. I'm just going to stay here forever. That's stagnating. That's not growing. That's not experiencing or developing. And I'm one of those people that constantly wants to grow and learn and find new things and see where it takes me.
I remember I asked this person once, I said, what are your dreams? This is when I was younger. Like, what do you want to do? And they were like, that was their answer. Like, I don't know. And I was like, wow, that's pretty sad.
Right.
Because I've never been that guy. Like since I was a young kid, there's always something I wanted to do. There's always somewhere I wanted to be. Yep. It gets like things have never changed for me. But the main frustrating part for me is that there's never enough time to do all these things.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I was one of those kids when they sat down with your guidance counselor and like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, I don't know, because I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do this. And she was like, I just pick one. And I was like, oh, I can't pick one. And she was like, really? I was like, no, you want me to just pick one? Why would I just pick one? Like, there's an entire world out there. She's like, okay, I need you to focus. Pick something that'll make money. And I'm like, well, that sucks. It's like, how much money do I have to make? Because I mean, I'm smart, but damn.
Now you're asking like legit questions, like reality questions, like what is rent? What is mortgage?
Right. I was like, wait, do I got to do a budget right now? Like I'm 15. I feel like I got time.
You're giving your counselor a spreadsheet on like a projected, like where you're going to be. Like,
plan.
Yeah. Who's got that? I don't. Yeah.
My 10-year plan is in 3 years I'll look at writing a 10-year plan, and that 3 years just gets kicked down the road.
Yeah, and every time we try to make these grand plans, I usually end up just frustrated that I can't get there. So I kind of have this nebulous overview of like where I want to be, but I don't overly get hung up on it. And then I just kind of do my day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, as long as I feel like as long as you're keeping one foot in front of the other, like me doing this YouTube channel, this is me getting a little bit of my cosplay creativity out, and me getting my interviewing out, and me getting my video production side out, just a little bit, just a tiny bit. And as long as I keep doing this and I start to expand on it, then I'm still marching forward and doing something that makes me happy.
Yeah, and that's the name of the game, man. So what if Peyton says, please ask Art to tell his Lou Ferrigno story.
Second time he's mentioned it, so now we have to know what is up with Lou Ferrigno.
Okay, if you go to my channel, I have a YouTube channel as well. I don't always dress up like this. I was inspired by Shae this morning. And I'm a little less colorful than and so the Lou Ferrigno story, I got to figure out the abridged version. Okay, so Wizard World has these conventions. And so I was contracted. Sometimes they'll hire like artists to do shows, and they'll pay them for like appearance fees. So I had a deal with Wizard World that I would do 5 or 6 shows over the course of the year. So this one was for Austin. And so one of the things we do at Wizard World too is this was kind of cool. This wasn't for Wizard World, but this was for another convention. Sometimes you do exclusive art for the convention. This was for I think Long Beach Comic Con, but that'd give you an idea. So when they sign these guys to exclusive these contracts, they will do like an exclusive giveaway for the show. So the artist will do a piece of artwork. I think for this con in Austin, Neil Adams did one. I did one. I think maybe Humberto Ramos did one. And so if you get these like VIP packages, you get into the show early, and then you get one of these free prints, and you can go and have the artist sign them and stuff like that. So so there's all these like cool things that Wizard World would do. And one of them was that they wanted me to do Good Morning Austin. It's a TV show. So a limo comes by, my hotel room, crack of dawn, and I come out and I get in the limo, and there's Lou Ferrigno. He's already in the limo. So I didn't know Lou was going to do the show with me. And so because Lou was at the Wizard World as well. And so our job was to go promote the show for, later that day. And so we drove there, and Lou was the nicest guy. We're just sitting there, and we're talking about family. He lives in Malibu. He's asking about my family, going back and forth and, having a good time. So I was like, yeah, Lou's a good guy. But I've heard that Lou doesn't like picture pirates. He's like very territorial at these shows. Like if you just snap a shot of him, he gets kind of pissed and like, so he has like a reputation at these conventions. And so but what I'm seeing is like this really cool guy. And so we get to the movie studio or the TV studio. And so we're brought in, we're doing our segment. And one of the things is I'm an artist, so I draw. So what I was doing is I was drawing the Hulk as the show was going on. So we're sitting on the couch. We got the host over here, and she's asking questions. But Lou is kind of being a standoffish guy. So he's kind of leaning around him like this, and she's talking over to me. And she keeps asking, like, what are you doing? And so I'm like, I'm drawing the Hulk. And so I hold it up, and then you could see, you finally got to see the crack in Lou. Like, that's not the Hulk. And I was like, it's a drawing of the Hulk. He goes, I'm the Hulk. I was like, oh, you're the Hulk? I thought,
oh, did you want you drawn as the Hulk?
Yeah, I was like, I thought you were an actor playing the Hulk. Like, you don't even have any, like, that's Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. If anybody's going to take ownership of this character, it'd be, those two guys. I didn't say this. I'm just thinking all this stuff, but I'm like, oh my gosh, he's kind of jealous. He's kind of jealous of what's going on. So that was the first crack. Yeah, like the first thing I saw, like that maybe there's going to be some trouble here, right? So the host was so sweet to me. And so at the end of the show, I gave her the drawing. I said, you do the little word balloon, and you say, "Good morning, Austin,"
Right.
and then I put her name down. I forget what her name was and everything. And so, you know how they have like, this is your living room, like set, so it's a couch and there's a wall behind you. And there were already pictures on the wall behind the couch. And she said, I'm going to get it framed up and I'm going to put it up on the wall there. And so Lou is just like, he's fuming, like,
oh gosh,
I'm the Hulk. And so at the end of the taping, we did good. We promoted Wizard World and we did our job. And so there's one thing that I was always thinking I was too cool for school, where early on I did all these really cool stuff in my career, but I never brought a camera because I didn't want to be that guy that's like, hey, you guys, I want to capture this for, for good time's sake or old time's sake. And so I never took pictures of all this cool stuff I did. I don't have one picture. So at this moment in time, and even the way I am now, I'm gonna take pictures. I don't care how stupid I seem or how dumb it is.
Right.
I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna document these cool things that have happened. And so I asked her. I was like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And then she's like, "Can we get Lou in?" Because Lou is the guy. Like, he charged photographs. So I'm already looking for like, oh my gosh, is this gonna set him off, right? So then I give one of the guys that works there my camera. And so he takes the picture of the three of us. Lou instantly starts to take off, right? There's not going to be any more pictures, right? That's it.
Right.
That's all you get. And then she's like, oh, can you take another one and then send it to me? And so then that guy that's already got my camera, he's like, sure. Poop. And then before you know it, like all the people that work in the lighting and the cameras and stuff, they come out and they have cameras and they're like, pictures. And I can see him just like, he's not happy. He's not happy at all. So then, he just takes off. Like, the photos weren't even done. Like, we could have taken another 10, photographs. And so he just kind of walks away. No announcement, nothing, nothing like, thanks for having me, nothing. He just walks away. So then, excuse me.
Wow.
So then I start thinking, that's my cue, right? He's my ride kind of thing. So, but I had artwork. I was also doing my dog and pony, kind of like stuff I'm doing here. Like, and then I have this, and then I have that. Because I'm an artist. That's, looking at me is boring, but what I do is the interesting part. And so then I had to go back to the couch and pick up all my drawings and stuff like that so I could leave. So by the time, from the moment I said goodbye, packed up my stuff, and then left the door. These are security doors to you guys. Once they close, they're closed. You can't get back in.
Right.
So I go outside. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. It's freezing cold in Austin, and there's no car. There's no Lou. There's no car. He fucking ditched me.
Oh gosh. He just left you.
He
was
left
like, that
me.
Motherfucker made me take all these fucking pictures. He's like,
Exactly.
Roll right now. Fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah, like somehow it was my fault,
Lou.
right? Like you have to expect you're a celebrity, right? People are going to want to take pictures with you. You have to expect that this is going to happen. But I heard his reputation, but you know what? He was so sweet in the car. I just, you know what I mean? He disarmed me, and then he just backhanded me right there. And it gets better because, like I said, I can't get back in the building. So the thing is, the driver had his cell phone and set it all up. So there was somebody at the door to open for me, for us when we did the show earlier.
Right.
And so I didn't have my cell phone. Even if I did, I didn't have the number. So there's no way it's a freaking brick wall and a door that looks like it could take like a shell from a tank. Like, you know what I mean? How do you talk to a wall that's fortified? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, hello, because I can't talk to anybody. And so I'm knocking, and then I'm walking around the perimeter of the building, like, hello. There's no anybody there. There's nobody. It's freezing cold. I didn't bring a jacket. So I'm walking around the building and I just keep walking around. And so then I notice there's cameras like around the building perimeter. So then I'm kind of just, this is my Hail Mary pass, right? I'm like, hello, I was just on your show. And then all of a sudden I hear, eek. That's the buzz of the door to unlock it. And so then I pull on the handle, I go in there. There's a security guy, and he's like, what's going on? And I was like, Lou Ferrigno ditched me. I don't have to ride back to the show. So then, naturally he starts laughing at me. Like, really? Lou Ferrigno ditched you? I was like, yeah, he ditched me. And then, and instantly you don't want to jump to the conclusion like he's an asshole, right? You're like, maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't know we were supposed to go back to the show together, even though we came to the studio together. You know what I mean?
Maybe he didn't know this was my ride.
Yeah, maybe he knew. Yeah, he knew. So then it took me a half hour it was at least a half hour of agonizing pain, just standing there making small talk with the security guy, and the security guy is like, so what do you do? I draw comics. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So kids like comics, right? Yeah. So who else buys them? Some adults, they buy comics. It's like what kind of comics do you do? Action adventure? It's like, oh, like there's
just like super fucking awkward. Like,
yeah, it's way awkward. And so then he gets a buzz. He's like, your ride's here. So then I go out, and it's the same limo driver that dropped us off. And so I got in, and this guy, it must be part of their job. Like they're just used to, like, not that I'm a celebrity, but Lou is way more of a celebrity than I am. And so they must be wired to make excuses for bad behavior, right? So he's like, I'm real sorry. It was all my fault. I just took off and I, whatever. And I didn't know you were there. And I said, no. I said, Lou got in the car and he told you to drive, right? And then he said, yeah. And I said, oh my gosh. And then I said, Lou's an asshole. That guy is Yeah, I said it right to the driver. I said, Lou Ferrigno's an asshole. I said, he left me stranded. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew we were supposed to go from this taping to the convention and start work. And he left me stranded. And also, I never thought about this until now. That whole VIP thing was those guys could get in early. Well, by the time I got there, it was already open to the masses. So anybody
that's messed up.
Yeah, so anybody wanted to get a VIP one-on-one with me didn't get it, because I never thought about that until now. Yeah, so thanks, Lou. You didn't just screw me, but you screwed anybody who wanted to get, paid that VIP thing. Yeah.
That's just petty. Don't be petty. Be better. You're supposed to be the Hulk. You be better.
Come on, Lou, you're the Hulk.
Right?
And I have another, just like a little an aside to my Lou Ferrigno story. So we're in the green room and we're waiting to go on because they're they have segments, and so I'm looking, and Lou looks like like a child dressed him, and like he's got like some kind of like baggy like workout pants on. So I thought it was really odd. Sometimes there's like things that just strike you as odd, and you think you know what it is, but if you think about it longer or you observe longer, you see what it is. And it must have been subconsciously that I saw it. But you know how when you buy brand new pants or shirts, they have that sticker on them that have like large, extra large, and medium, small kind of thing? Well, he had that sticker, and it was long. It was on the side of his leg, like on his thigh part. So you would have seen it on camera. And so I was like, maybe I could just have a twisted giggle at Lou's expense if he goes on with this thing. Right. I like myself that he's got this sticker on his pant leg. But I was like, no. And I have a rule, because I've been bit so many times. This is way an aside, but the tangents are the best part. And so, like whenever, like if somebody has a booger and you go, you have a booger, and you try to be all cool with them, they're always going to be defensive. They're going to go, yeah, whatever. They always get pissed at you. Like you're the bearer of bad news. Right. So I usually don't get into those scenarios. I'll just laugh. I'll go, yeah, that guy's got a booger. He's going to go out in public and he's going to have this big booger, because I don't want that guy's anger to be turned on me. I don't care, you know? And so I was thinking the same thing with Lou. It's like, yeah, well, you know, maybe I'll just let him go out with the sticker on his leg. And so, but I couldn't. So I was a nice enough guy. I said, Lou, you got the sticker on your leg there. And he's like, oh. And he did exactly the same thing. He was like a dick. It's like, whatever. Like, and wrapped it up and threw it away. He didn't say thank you. He didn't say anything. So the rule always applies, you guys. If somebody's got a booger, don't. Unless you know.
Terrible.
Yeah, just.
I was gonna say, the other day I had a hoodie on and I was waiting at a Wawa for like a quesadilla, right? And so I'm just sitting here like standing around, and this woman comes up to me, she goes, "You got something on your shirt," and just peels it off, and she goes, "Oh," for a second I thought it was a spider, and then just like threw it on the ground. I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she's like, "Yeah," and then just walked away, and I was like, "Is that so hard?" Like, it turned out to be a little clump of dog hair, but you know, hey, like.
Yeah,
she was nice, and she's like, "You got something up here," and just like peeled it off for me. You just gotta say, people are so rude. Seriously, just
they take it as a personal affront, like, yeah, whatever. You know, and they go. Yeah. But the thing is, I just saved you from like how much embarrassment, like right now.
Right.
Yeah, like whatever embarrassment you have at this moment in time, you're going to go in public and you're going to meet a bunch of people, and you have a booger hanging out of your nose. Right. So what's more embarrassing, you know? Like the little moment in time or the greater, bad. Whatever.
It's terrible. Don't worry, everyone's on your side. None of us are leaving you hanging.
Yeah. So anybody that walks up to me and it says, "Hey, Art, you got a booger?" I'll thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me just go someplace to handle this.
These are the good parts of life, people. These are your fellow man looking out for you.
Right. This is what we're supposed to do as human beings, not be assholes. It was the same thing. We had our Powerpuff Girls CG Ladies stream on Carla's channel, and we were talking about how we're pissed off that all of these like crazy feminist people have killed chivalry, because I like it when someone holds the door open for me. Damn it. Like, I'm 6'1". Do you have any idea how many people look at me and go, "And she can handle it"? And I'm like, son of man, I know I can. It's a door. Like, it's meant to open. I know I can open a thing meant to open. I just would like it if someone were nice and opened it for me. It makes me feel special, damn it.
It's the good parts of life. Yeah, I always tell my daughter when we were raising her, I was like, these are the good parts of life. These are the parts that when, because people don't have to do these things. You know what I mean? They do them because they're nice people and they want to, you know, make life a little easier for somebody. If they can do that, then that's what they're going to do. It's not a power trip. It's nothing deeper than that. It's just, you know, you're a fellow man, you're a fellow, you know, human, and I'm going to do this nice thing for you. And that's all. It doesn't go any deeper than that. But yeah, there are people like that. Or there's the people like, you open it for one person and then you're about to kind of close it. And then there's somebody in the parking lot that will run over and take advantage of you opening the door. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So we just got another question from Paragon. How much longer is Chrono Mechanics going to be in demand? And what are your future plans for Black and White?
I saw that. I'm glad that you highlighted it. Paragon link. It is in demand right now, and we are probably a month, hopefully sooner, from going to print with it. The book, the pencils, the inks, the coloring, and we're just waiting for the last like 10 pages of lettering. So the book is pretty much done, and so we're going to go to print soon. So my wife and I were talking, she's my partner on this and my writing partner. We were talking about possibly closing it when we go to print, but that's kind of open. So we're really not sure, but it'll be in demand for at least another 3 weeks to a month. So that's as tentative, or that's as much details I can give you right now. And the plans for Black and White, I'm so glad you guys asked. We got so many plans for this. We have a pre-launch page right now for Black and White Volume 1. So we did the initial campaign some months ago. Did you get the book when it originally came out?
I did not. I missed it. I'm so bummed, and so I'm happy that you're like talking about it again.
Yeah. So we're going to reissue. Well, yeah, we're going to reissue the book. So it's like a second chance for the book, and we have a pre-launch page right now, an Indiegogo pre-launch page for the book. So if you sign up now, you give me your address, you will get a free trading card with one of your purchases. So if you back a tier, you'll automatically get that free trading card, but you have to sign up. You have to be on that list. So, and we're going to launch that probably sometime next month. So you only have a few more weeks to sign up and be eligible for that free trading card. And Zach Bradley did the artwork. He did a fantastic job. I think if you go to my Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, the trading card artwork is up there. And you can see what you'll get for just basically giving me your address. And so what that address does as well is you'll be notified as soon as it goes live. So you'll be notified before anybody else. And usually what these campaigns have is they have these early birds, but they're very limited. So there's like 50 or something like that. So if you get in early, you can get these tiers, but they sell out quickly. So you get an advantage that way as well to get those early bird specials and things like that. So it's really cool. The card came out fantastic, and the card is a commemorative 25th anniversary. So Black and White is 25 years old. We came out with it in '94 in Image in the big heyday. And so we brought it back a year ago. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of people that were like, well, we missed out. So this is for you guys.
Yay! I feel so loved.
It's going to be fantastic. And the thing that we're going to do, actually, I have some of them here. This worked out, is because the initial campaign has stretch goals. So all of these campaigns, like with Chrono Mechanics, has stretch goals. So Black and White did the same. So we had patches, we have bookmarks, we had posters, we had all kinds of stretch goals. So what I'm going to do with the Black and White Volume 1 Second Chance is you're going to have access to all the stretch goals as well. So but it's going to be at a premium price. So it wouldn't be fair for the people that backed the book the first time. You know what I mean? Because they were part of the campaign and they were helping build it. So usually the stretch goals are like rewards for helping us, get to those next plateaus. So, but the thing is, these things came out so cool. I want to make sure everybody can get these as well. So we're going to have those part of the campaign as well. I'm
super excited. I've got so I have this grand plan because I don't know if you plan on going to CGCon next year, but
I'm gonna be there. Yeah,
1,000% do. So I actually got for me and Sai, we've got bomber jackets that are red, like mine is red, Sai's is blue. We are going to get our channel logo, the Red Valkyrie wings, and the sword is going to go as a big patch on the back. And then I'm taking all of these really cool like patches and stuff that people are creating, and these really awesome pins and stuff from all of these campaigns that I've been backing, and we are sewing it on there. I'm making it look like my military jacket. So I'm going to have it, but it's going to be all CG, all indie, all of these really cool projects. I'm so happy that you have those because I have to have those patches for sure. Although I don't know if Sai will put an anti-robotics patch on her jacket because Cyborg. So, we'll see. I'll talk her into it. I'll be like, it's for art.
It's like Arnold. Like, what was that movie where it's like you shot all those guys? He says, yeah, but they were all bad. Like Black and White, they only attack bad robots. They're not going.
Okay.
They're not snuffing out the good robots. They're only going after the rogues and the bad robots. So
that's awesome. Okay, so I will pitch it that way, and then if I fail in the pitch, I'm gonna bring you back and be like, Art, convince me, like help me convince Cy that this is an okay patch that we're putting on both of our jackets.
Well, also when you read the story, you'll see, you're definitely going to know the good robots from the bad robots. So these you can see, those are sinister looking robots.
Yes, they are.
And then you get to see them take down this military operation here.
Nice.
Yeah. So
gosh,
they're not good. But no, I'm not. That's a spoiler. There may be an innocent good robot that is that gets sacrificed.
Oh no.
And his name's Nigel, and you're gonna love Nigel, and you're not gonna like it when he meets his fate.
Oh, it's so sad.
So sad.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna make it. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. But there's another patch. It's like the gun sight, the black and white gun sight.
Yes.
Actually, I don't have the patch, but this is a piece of artwork that I'm working on. So it's the yin yang with the gun sight on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we have a patch like that as well.
Yes. Oh, I'm determined. I'm determined to collect as many of them as I possibly can. I already told the Oddity guys that the Oddity one's going over my heart because they're my boys and I work real close with them.
Yeah,
so that's gonna go right here. But the rest of them, it's a free for all. And I all down the arms, all down the front, everywhere. I want them everywhere.
Yeah, I still want to do a chrono because they have the cog kind of on the shoulder.
I saw that with the clock in it.
Yeah, it says Team 9.2 of Sector 7, and it's got the wrench and then the cog around it. And that would make, my wife wants it really bad. So we have one stretch goal right now for 40K, and that's can we go back to the site? I want to show this off. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going back to your
the Chrono Mechanics website or Indiegogo site.
Oh, ooh, I'm on the wrong one. This is the pretty one. Let me go back to your.
No problem. Take your time.
See, I got excited. I was trying to find your pre-launch page so I could put it in the channel. Okay. What do you want to look at?
If you scroll all the way down on the chrono page, there's the last stretch goal that we have up right now. And that is the golden time card. So one of the fun things about these Indiegogo campaigns and these crowdfund is you can make them very thematic to the IP. And so Chrono has all kinds of cool graphics works that we've done, like the blueprint for the work in progress, the caution strips, the cogs, the wrenches, all those things. That's actually the design. The pin is that one that I want to make into a patch. So that's the design. But there's the golden time card. So the golden time card is it's one out of every 10 backers will have one of these cards put into their book. And so it's kind of like the Willy Wonka thing, but it's a golden time card. And we're going to make these things, they're going to be foil embossed. So it's going to be like metallic looking. And so the idea being, if you get the time card, it's in your book, fill out your time card, put in your hours and sign it, and then send it back to me. And then I will do a one of a kind free doodle of Doug in his core rocker self. That's the illustration here. Absolutely free. It's bigger than the comic. It's 9x12. So do I have any 9x12 here? Yeah. So it's pretty good size. So this is the paper that it will be drawn on. So it's a 9x12. So if you have like a comic book, you can see it's bigger.
Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, so the Doug drawing will be on that paper, and I'll ship it back out to you guys absolutely free at my cost. So if we get to 40K, like you were saying earlier on, Shae, like it's a shame if we can't do this. So this is our big push to get to the 40K. And
you have to get to 40K. That's such a cool little like aside that you're doing. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice thank you to everybody that's backed the book, people like yourself that help support the book, all those great things. And what I was thinking is that people might not want to part with the card because it's a cool collectible unto itself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to send the card back with the doodle, like with your sketch. You got to do both of them.
Well, no. The deal is you have to give up the card and send it. Yes.
Oh.
So I can't wait to see the meltdown. Like people are I don't want to get rid of the card. It's so cool. It's got the Chrono logo on it and everything. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what I would do. This is gonna really I'm gonna stay up at night wondering if I get this. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna cry. I'll be like, what do I want, a duck sketch or do I want the golden card?
Well, let's get to 40K and then let's watch the meltdown.
We are not far from 40K at all. So you're at 38,177. So we are under $2,000. We still got 3 to 4 weeks. There's absolutely no reason that we cannot make this happen.
Yeah. Oh, do me one more favor. The cogs underneath the video, click on those and then read them out loud.
The writing on this book is unsurpassed. I will write nevermore. Edgar Allan Poe.
Writer of scary stories and bird lover.
This is great. All the knowledge of the universe in this book is deep, huh? Aristotle, some know-it-all in a bathrobe.
So yeah, we dug deep. We got all kinds of quotes from famous people throughout time. Yeah.
What? Van Gogh, deaf artist and lunatic. So he literally just doesn't know.
Yeah, these are the jokes, people.
This is so good. These are absolutely hideous jokes, and I'm so happy right now. This book is pure gold. No, I touched the damn thing. How does it end? Midas, the very rich king and hands-on kind of guy.
He's a little grabby.
I'm gonna need him to keep his hands to him damn self.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This book is a shocking discovery. Ben Franklin, inventor and avid kite flyer.
That's true.
So true. And then Thibert makes time travel relatively fun. Einstein, smarty pants scientist.
Oh wait! Did we pull it down? There was one from what is her name that was burned at the stake as a heretic? Oh my gosh! What is her name?
I can't remember her name.
I'm totally blanking, but people were kind of like it was cold-blooded because she actually did burn at the stake.
Did you say something about it being on fire?
Yeah. She said,
book is on fire.
The book lights my fire. Yeah, you know where the jokes are going. Yeah, and oh my gosh, what is her name? Maybe somebody in the chat can help out.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Oh my, yeah. What is it? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. It's too early in the morning.
It's okay. I forced you out of bed rather early.
Nobody.
At least for you. For me, it's almost 3. So.
Yeah. So you're on the East Coast?
I am. I'm currently stationed East Coast. So.
Oh my gosh! I wish my wife was here. She'd help me out. She's the history buff. Oh my gosh! She was burned at the stake as a heretic. Somebody in the chat, help! Help me!
Let's see if I can.
Oh my gosh! This is horrible. I'm brain.
I know, right? We're stopping everything. Joan of Arc.
Joan of Arc. Thank you. Yes. There's
so much more with Joan of Arc. Oh my gosh! You showed burn at the stake quote. That's terrible.
Yeah. See that's kind of why we pulled it down.
Oh my gosh! That is so bad. Wow.
I also mentioned that she was a young person or something because she was just a kid. Yeah. It was believer, young person or something. I forget what it was, but yeah, it was something like this book lights my fire, Joan of Arc, child.
Wow.
something radical or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So with humor, there's a fine line.
There is.
Yeah, sometimes there's a fine line there.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. It's horrible, but it's hilarious.
The thing is, like, there's dad jokes in Chrono, but there's also like some really edgy stuff. So the one of the harder things when we launched this is people were asking me like, "Is this a kid's book? Is this a kid's book?" And I was like, it's kind of Looney Tunes where there's some adult stuff that kids can't quite get, like where there's a gun that goes limp. It's you know what that's supposed to be, and then there's the wolf with the eyes popping out, and there's like all these innuendos and stuff like that happen in those cartoons. So the kids watch them, they just look like funny visuals, but when adults watch them, they know what those things are. And so Chrono has some of those aspects in there. So then people were like, well, could my kid read it? And I said, it depends on your kid.
It depends on your parenting style for your kid.
Right.
What are you going to let your kid watch?
Right. And so that's why I have the PG-13. So there is some kind of edgier humor, but I think most of it will fly over kids' heads. But there is some just fun, straightforward action adventure that I think kids will absolutely adore, and love. So it does like Looney Tunes is the best way I can describe it. Or if you let your kids watch like Futurama or The Simpsons. Yeah, because sometimes there's things in there that they're little asides or throwaways, and you're like
American Dad.
Yeah, you're like
they got a lot of stuff where I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Like, there's a couple episodes be like, nah, you can't watch this one. Go do something else.
Yeah, I think like the Seth MacFarlane stuff is a little more edgy. Yeah. I think like for kids, Simpsons and Futurama is probably the farthest or furthest you should take it. I think the Seth MacFarlane stuff. That stuff goes way beyond. Oh my gosh, there was something I was watching with my kid when she was young. I think it was Family Guy, and I don't know. They made it seem like that maybe the little baby was gay, like he was dressed like a cheerleader or something. There was something that was really weird, and it was just like they opened the closet, like because there was also the closet, like there's all these innuendos, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, it's still gay.
I remember sitting on the couch with my parents as a kid, and something would come on screen, and I was like, and my mom would be like, You don't see anything.
You don't see her. Yeah.
She's like, nope. And I was like, Mom, what just happened? She's like, we don't ask questions. Nope, we're not. You saw nothing. She's like, sing your ABCs to yourself.
Why is Stewie, or it's Stewie, right? Is the
always Stewie?
Yeah,
Stewie's a closet homosexual half the time.
Yeah, why is he in a dress? I don't know. I don't know, honey.
The amount of times that he cross dresses, like on that show, or like the all of the jokes that happen in Family Guy, and I'm just like, imagine if you're watching this with your child who's like an inquisitive kid.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would explain half of this. There's a time where they were learning how to do CPR, and Stewie sleeps with the baby CPR dummy.
Oh.
And I was like, how do you explain that to a child after he just like, so he was just playing, and his clothes fell off, and things happen, and then it's done, and we're not talking about it ever again.
Exactly. Yeah. So we stopped watching Family Guy after that as a family. It's not very family oriented, even though the title. It's in the title, but it's not for kids.
No. Nope. Absolutely not. Oh my goodness. Art, honestly, this has been so much fun. This has been an absolute blast. I'm so happy that we were finally able to make our schedules match and to get you on. Do you have any last plugs for Chrono Mechanics?
I just want to say thank you so much for having me. Thank you for being patient with me.
Absolutely.
I don't put these hats on for anybody. So
thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for giving me some exposure. Thanks to all your fans in the chat, all your supporters. So please go out, check out Chrono Mechanics. It's a blast. It is a 60-page graphic novel. We just hit a stretch goal too, where it is going to be the square bound. So it's a full graphic novel format. So it's not Staples, what do they call it, saddle stitch. This is like the deluxe format book. And so we got to that point. So thanks to everybody that supported, to get us to that point. Let's get to that 40K. Let's get that golden time card into your hands, and go to the black and white pre-launch and sign up for that and be eligible for that free trading card. I'm trying to get the numbers up on that because it does help when you launch, because when you launch these campaigns, you want your numbers high at the very beginning, because the algorithms on Indiegogo, they do help your visibility. So
I'll make sure that we get that link, and I'll put it into the channel description as well for this show, so people can find that pre-launch page a little bit easier and go back. I'll also tweet it out when I tweet out for this once it hits YouTube, so everybody can go and get on that mailing list, and so they can get that card.
Oh, cool. Thank you. It came out so good. Like I said, go onto my social media. It's posted somewhere. You can see the Zach Bradley artwork. It's very, very cool. And I almost forgot, I have the black and white Vampirilla campaign going. Is there any way you can find that real quick? I
believe so. I think I saw it. Give me just a moment here. Go ahead and vamp while I look.
Yeah, it's a major crossover. I was so flattered that Dynamite Entertainment asked me to do this, and so it's black and white. My characters and the Vampirilla character. That there it is. All right. So the cool thing about this, you guys, is there's this neat symmetry that's happening. Black and white is 25 years, and the Vampirilla character is 50 years. So it's exactly half. So it just worked out perfect. So this is kind of this is a commemorative cover that celebrates both of these characters. So Black and White's 25th anniversary and Vampirilla's 50th anniversary. And so if you scroll, I believe that there's this cool, there it is, the 25 years of Black and White. Yeah, there's the logo right there. So we came up with this great graphic, and then I'm going to ask them if they'll put the 25 years on the cover right underneath the Vampirilla 50th. So if you go back to the cover, the 50th anniversary, oh, actually, yeah, you can't really see it there. Is there another better picture of it? Not really. They need a bigger image, I think. Yeah. But in the right hand corner where it says Dynamite Entertainment, there's the Vampirilla 50th, the little bat, the bat with the 50. So I want to put right under that the 25 years of Black and White. So I think that would be cool for the collectors and the fans of both of these IPs. So it'll be fun. We have the standard, we have the line art, and we have the Virgin cover. So the line art is always the more collectible, and I like the line art because it's black and white. It's all line art.
It's fun brand.
I have something else. Hold on. Let me share something with your.
You know what? Hold up. Let me start taking down. I'm taking down my stuff that makes it look like I'm stopping, because we got all the exclusives going on here.
Oh, I just did this the other day on a live stream. And so one of the things we have in the Black and White Vampirilla campaign is we have drawing tiers. So
oh my gosh.
This is my Vampirilla drawing. So if you back the drawing tier, you'll not only get this drawing, but you'll also get the book signed. So it's a pretty cool tier.
Wow.
And you can get this drawing. And then there's a Black and White team drawing it's right there. So there's the Black and White team drawing. There's the tiers right there. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that is so cool. I love it.
Yeah. So
you're gonna make me go broke. This is awesome.
I was gonna say that's the plan, but then it makes me sound pretty bad. I don't want anybody to go broke, but you know, at the same time, this is how I make my living. So yeah, please go check the website out, or check the Indiegogo site. And I don't want you to go broke, but if you want me to draw for you, I'll draw one of these fantastic Vampirilla doodles. And or I'll draw the black and white for you. And you can get any of the tiers, and you can add this on at checkout as well. So you can either back the tier on the page, or you can add the drawings on later.
Very cool.
So thank you for letting me do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So how much longer is this? You still have 10 days on this. So when are we having you back on to talk about this specifically?
Anytime you guys want. This has been a blast, so I don't mind coming back on. I'll have to figure out something like to fit the theme. It won't be this hard hat, but
yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the only downside, is I don't know that I'm brave enough to try out being Vampirella, which means I got to be white, and she's got a lot going on there.
She's a little more covered. Yeah, it just depends on how voyeuristic you want to be. Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to get banned, but I am also trying to get monetized. So there's a constant struggle there.
Well, I just realized we went up. So the campaign just went, because we were at like 5,800 and something. So
nice.
Actually, I think we were at 98 backers. So what is that? 3 backers? We just got 3 backers. So that's pretty cool.
Sweet. I love it. That is super awesome.
Yeah. So thanks for all the support. Thank you so much for letting me come on and shill my books.
Seriously, literally anytime, you are more than welcome on Red Valkyrie. This has been an absolute blast. It's been so much fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. And like and subscribe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Support the channel. Yeah, please.
Please like, share, and subscribe. We do also have Red Valkyrie merch, and we've got, it's something that I was actually going to talk to you about, but we've got a lot of really cool stuff where we've got art from a lot of these artists that are in the indie and the comics gate scene, who have done mock-ups of me and mock-ups of Cyborg, and we put them on t-shirts, and then we split the profits 50-50 with the artists, so it helps our brand and our channel, but we're also helping out some of these other creators. So please, if you want to help support creators, you want to get some really badass merch, go check that out. I will make sure that we get the link for your pre-launch for the second time around for Black and White. We'll get that put up into the channel description. Thank you so much for coming on, Art. It's been such a blast. And thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys have been phenomenal. It has been such a fun stream, and I can't wait to do it again. So we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.
Later.